moment. But who wants to talk to some mean and ornery person, right? Who wants to be around, or who wants you working for them when you're not good, right? You're not good at what you do. You're not good with people. You're not good with him. It's all about people, right? It's all about people. And if you learn how to handle people right, then really, the sky's the limit for you. Yeah, that's right.
Excited to announce that our very own podcasting platform, Zencaster, has become a new sponsor of the show. Zencaster is an all-in-one podcast production suite that gives you studio quality audio and video without needing all the technical know-how. Check out the podcast discount link in the show notes to find out why we love using Zen for the podcast. Welcome to another great episode of the 24-Hour Boss Launchpad podcast. I got a great guest, a good friend of mine, here with me today. His name is Chris Black. He is the president and CEO of Shepherd Multimedia Incorporated, which is a full-service company providing custom end-to-end multimedia solutions for churches all across America. And I brought him on to talk about audio-video stuff, leadership, business, and whatever else we decide to dive into. But he's also a good brother, good friend, and I know he has some great advice. And that's one of the other reasons I want to bring him on, just to have a good conversation and just to share some good and all of that, but to introduce him to others who may not know about him. So, Brother Chris, welcome, sir, to the 24-Hour Boss Launchpad podcast.
Sir, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you, man?
I'm good, man. Thank you for having me here, and glad to be here. A rainy day, but a lot of technical issues, but we're here. So
we are here, and that's all that matters. So
yep.
I appreciate you and your time today, and being here today. So thank you, sir. And
no, thank you. Again, I'm just a pleasure to be here. We've been trying to make it happen, so I'm glad you was able to get me on. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Gonna make it happen. All right. So, Chris, I know a lot of people don't know you and they don't know much about you, but if you could maybe share a great childhood story of yours, maybe that occurred to you that, you don't mind sharing with the audience.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess a lot of funny things happen to people in their childhood, right? But I think this one should make at least get a couple of chuckles out of some folks.
Yeah.
So when I was about in the 5th grade, I used to want to do these homegrown gymnastics, right? You flip, front flips, somersaults, and back flips, and all that stuff. And so there was a little platform at a park near where I lived in Carrollton, and it was about 6 feet off the ground. But once you're on the platform and the bar puts itself at about somewhere between 9 and 11 feet, the way because it wasn't designed for you to flip off of. It was designed for you to hold on to as you went down this pole. But we figured that we could jump off this platform using this bar, like a front flip.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm up there one day by myself. There was like a couple with their kids, or a little family, and they were off to the side, way off to the side. Nobody was near me, and I just said, you know what, I'm gonna hit this somersault. I'm gonna do this quadruple, twist and do a perfect landing, right? And and again, there's just enough platform for you to kind of run and just jump, just enough to get up a little bit of speed. And man, I hit it, and the next day I know I'm asleep, right? I'm knocked out. I don't even realize that I actually hit the bar. Maybe I just ran into the bar. I really don't know what happened. I'm gonna be honest with you. I remember thinking that I flipped, but maybe I didn't. I don't know. I wake up with the family surrounded around me, waking me up like, "Are you all right? Are you all right?" And I can't tell you how long I was laying there either.
Yeah.
I mean, I had a good dream overnight, right?
Yeah, you were knocked out like an MMA fighter.
Yeah, 100%, right? 100%. Like Mike Tyson had caught me slipping.
Well, listen, glad you survived that in your childhood, and you're the man you are today. You're better 100%. For it, so 100%. You learned from it, I'm sure. But wow.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Don't do
All
that
right.
at home, folks. Don't do it at home. That's all I can tell you.
Yes, I concur. Do not, do not. If you see a bar at the park, just walk right by it. Don't even,
Walk right past it.
don't even attempt gymnastics.
Yep.
All right, man. Let's talk about some audio video stuff. So you say, or you said that you transitioned from an audio and video engineer who transitioned to a producer to a business owner. So how did you get started in the audio video world? Like, what was your base, your foundation? Where you get started at?
Well, I'm sure a lot of people can relate that's in this field. We thank God for churches, right? For the because they'll let you just get on this stuff, tear it up,
Mm.
and hopefully you're the better for it at the end of your tenure of working in a church. But um, I got started in church right when I got married, and that was about 26 years ago. So I wanted to do something other than, sit in church and go to work. So, I joined the audio team. I joined the security team that helped watch cars in the parking lot. I was on in the choir. And so I was doing all these things, just trying to find my niche and my way
Mhm,
in helping whichever way I could in the church. We also was a part of a ministry where we went and spoke, preached to boys at a youth village. But the audio seemed to kind of pull at me.
mhm,
And about a year of doing all of those things, the audio head of audio just kind of came to me, and I was already thinking this, but the head audio came to me. It's like, hey, you know, not telling you what to do, but we really need you more times than what you do, and if you really want to get good, because I was only serving like once a week, right? And that might seem like it's a lot, but I mean, one, we had church, we had church 4 times a week, or we have
wow.
church 4 times a week. That's
Yeah.
first, but two, I was really doing it. And it was very passive. I wasn't really learning, right? Because it was just you're in the moment, so it's not a whole lot of time to talk and learn and blah 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 blah. So he was like, if you're really going to get better at this, I really need you more times and so forth and so on. So I quit the other auxiliaries I was in, and I took that on. That's what I did when I came to church, and that's how me and my good friend Dion. That's how we became just best friends, like brothers. That's where a lot of my foundation of knowing the word came from, because we talked a lot of
Mhm,
scripture, and then we talked through the word and talked through the just the importance of being a faithful servant and member, and everything I became is really because of being part of the audio team at my church. So, but that's how I got started. Church gave me a chance, and I took it.
right. All right. And so you start in church with audio video, and so you take what you learn and what you know, and so you you transfer that to a business for yourself. And so how did that go, or how did that start?
Well, so I leave corporate America in 2004, but there's a prequel kind of story to that. So in 2002, my friend Dion and I, we started a sound system installation business, right? So we started it because like, hey man, we can do this. I was like, I can do this, and I just need your help. So we just kind of partnered into it, and I think we did absolutely zero jobs because we had 4 time jobs. I'm married,
Yeah.
church super busy, and man, it's just no time to go out to sell, to market, right? Just no time to
Hmm.
get out there and do it. So we literally had no business, and we weren't. It wasn't like we cared. I mean, it was just kind of one of those passe things. I actually did go get the DBA for it, but it wasn't no big deal. But in 2003, I actually started feeling a pull from God on helping my church. My current pastor was actually the video editor back then, and I mean, he was looking for help. He was traveling. He was married. Just and just very busy. He was preaching, so I had an eagerness to learn, but man, no time. So what
Mm,
I figured was, what I could do was if I started a business, and let the marketplace take care of me, I could help take care of my church, right? So
mm.
and this is actually after I had just became a new supervisor on my job. I
Oh,
actually went
wow.
to them about 4 months after I had been made supervisor, and then I quit. and
Oh,
so
wow.
oh yeah, dude, it was so funny because I quit, but they wouldn't let me quit. So I quit in February. I didn't leave until July.
Wow.
And yeah, because it was a brand new department. I was creating all the SOPs for how everybody else interacted with us, what was happening in 26 other countries. It was a big deal. But the
Mm.
pull of God was more than me staying on my job. So I left.
A lot of people see where you're at now, and it's like, oh, Chris, I'm sure we have people approach, hey, how can I get an audio video? How can I do that? And they don't know the steps and the layers and the pitfalls and all of the struggles that you've had to get to where you're at. And it's definitely a challenge, I'm sure. But man,
Yeah, I think the hardest challenge really was just the business side, because it's not just learning the technical side. Mind you, I had a wife and 2 kids by this time when I quit. Right, so um, and I think one of the funniest things to me, because I was salaried. Right, I was in management, so I was salaried. So I never forget that my check that I had previously got when I quit was my last check, and I didn't realize that. I thought I had one more check coming. And boy, you talking about funny
mm,
now, right now,
yeah, I
now
know,
was not funny then,
I'm
right?
sure.
Uh, yeah, so it was a lot of interestingly dark days from the business side because I didn't know how to sell, I didn't know how to market. I was sincere and all that, and I was trying to build it, but there was a few years before I actually became profitable. And it was just a struggle that my wife was she was just willing to put up with, and I appreciate her for it. But that, man, that was just some rough days because not only am I having to learn, so I'm a video editor. I don't have a computer, so I have to edit at the church, right?
Hmm.
So I got to spend most of my time up there. So think about it. So I got to spend most of my time up there, but I'm trying to run this business. I can't say start. I started a business, but I'm trying to run this business, and I don't have time to even go talk to clients half the time because I'm
Doing
not
a little
good at
editing,
video editing, right? I'm
yeah,
not I'm
trying to
not
learn
good
it.
at it.
How did you start to? I know you said it took you maybe 2 years to get profitable, which is kind of understandable in business because it's a sacrifice. But what did you do to start winning those clients? How did you get them to come in?
I'm going to help you out. It actually took me about 4 years to get profitable.
Oh, okay.
Exactly about 4 years. And so when I say that, I'm talking about I am literally not making ends meet
Hmm.
most of the time. Like I'm having to think about what am I gonna I'm going to pay. Um, um, my wife worked a little bit and stuff like that, but I'm a man. I'm gonna take care of my house. But I had to make a decision not to go back to corporate. And the
Mm,
reason why I say that is because and I'm gonna answer your question, but I want to make this clear. I had to make a decision not to go back to corporate because if I did, that pretty much meant I was going to give up. Right? I can
mm,
easily go back and make the money. I was making a lot of money in corporate. That
yeah.
that wasn't an issue. I could always go back to what I was doing. But I never forget, and it was probably about 2 years later, or probably about a year, almost 2 years. It was almost 2 years later. I never forget where I was on the cusp of just like wanting to give it up, right? Um, and I told myself, I said, if I do this, I know I'm going to um, stop business altogether. So I had to. So now, what did I have to do? One, I had to keep trying to learn. That's first and foremost. Like you got to learn. You just got to learn it. You can't. I want him to just say figure it out. Now you got to figure it out for you, but you have to learn the principles of business. You have to market. You have to market. Now I didn't have a lot of money, so I didn't market like in a traditional way. I wasn't went online or I didn't send out postcards. My marketing was Chris Black knocking on doors and reaching out to people that I already knew. I literally would go and knock on church doors to connect with people. That's how I
Mm,
made it because once I started connecting to people, yes, I still have to build a relationship, but God sustained me. So I don't want to act like there's no God in this because God's sustaining, but I have to do my part, right? So I have to go out there and try to figure out how to connect with people, get jobs that are bringing enough money that can sustain to the next time I get the next job, right? So
mm-hmm.
forth and so on. Um, so I really knocked on doors, cold call, that whole nine. In order to get to where I needed to get to, and what eventually happened was I got connected. So this is how I got into production, um, past just video editing. I got connected with someone who one needed a video editor, and then start to get into live event production, meaning going to do the actual setups and doing a show, if you would. So that became part of my repertoire. That and also building websites.
Wonderful. And I like, and I think that you said something really important. Uh, that you went door to door. Now I know, we're in the social media age and all of that with marketing and all that kind of stuff. But I think something really key, what you just said, you went door to door to build relationships, and I don't think that can be discounted even today in this social media generation. You got to figure out a way to build relationships face to face. And even if it is cold calls or knocking on a few doors, that's okay to do because at the end of the day, that relationship is going to matter more than a social media post, if you want to say. It's good. I'm
Yeah,
not discrediting that, but
right.
I think relationships go further.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about what's called high touch. People people get high touch from social media, but they don't realize we really do like um, physical interaction with each other. We want to look
Hmm.
people in the eye. We want to shake their hands. We want
We're
to,
humans.
right. I mean, which is why after a while being in the pandemic, people just like, I'll go out. I don't care how bad the situation is, right?
Hmm.
Because they want to be out and around other people. And so most of the time, most people, just try to, what does it say? One out of every 20 people actually will sell. Um, that means 19 other people would just rather die, right? They would. I mean, because it is, most people would rather die than get up and speak in front of a crowd.
That's
But
true.
and that's technically what selling is. You're pitching yourself, or you're opening yourself up to somebody, and you hope that the words that come out your mouth are right, and you hope they don't ask you no weird question. And most of the time, if you don't like people, you try to build some kind of business that allows for you not to have to uh, uh, you know talk to folks, but that's not how you build good relationships. Most of my relationships are repeat customers. Some just this, I don't know, probably this year. Well, it was last year. Last year I probably stopped working with one of my longest running clients, right? Nearly 11 years of somebody just coming back to me, coming back to me, coming back to me. And it's because of the relationship, right? It's because
Hmm.
of the service that we provide, but that's the relationship. I grew with them, they grew with me, and so even to the point they gave me an award. It's actually on the backside of me right there. But it,
Hmm.
it's all about the relationship. The Bible
Yeah.
says it like this. Well, I'm
Hmm.
gonna tell you what Zig Ziglar says, because this is the era that I come from. I come from like Zig Ziglar, Jim Rohn, Anthony Robbins, who now I say most people don't even know who Anthony Robbins is, but um, Zig Ziglar said it like this: if you help enough people get what they want, you can have everything that you want. And then the Bible says it like this: give, and it shall
Mm.
be given, pressed
Yes,
down,
sir.
shaken together, run it over with good measure, shall men give into your bosom. A lot of people I hear them misquote that. It says God shall cause men. It doesn't say that. It says shall men give into your bosom. See, if you do all the effort up front, right? If you put out the seeds, if you do the job of going out there playing, because you can't make anybody work with you, buy from you, whatever the case, right? What you can do though, that's what marketing is about, is putting out the seed. So whether it takes knocking on the door, and I'm glad we lived in an age where I could go knock on the door, right? I just knock
Right.
on doors or whatever, or create a connection one way or the other. Um, but you got to do something first. Like you have to do the seed planting, and you got to do the cultivating. You can't make nothing come up. You can't rain on it. You can't make the ground no more than what it is. But you can plant and you can cultivate. You can
Yep.
water. That's what marketing is. You water what you planted.
And it sounds like you've had some good people around you. Of course, I heard you mention Brother Dion, of course, Brother Kelvin Oliver, and I know there's some others that you have worked with that have also helped you to get where you're at and learn, which I think is important. That you
Yeah,
got good people around you,
100%.
to help you get to where you're going. So
Yeah.
that's wonderful.
Yeah, hey, I do got like a little funny deal. Whether
Sure.
Tom will ever hear this or not, it's one of the funniest things to me. So, um, my very first um, uh, camera work was on a music video for a church, and the director, his name is Tom Williams. He's been nominated 10 times, won 8 Emmys.
Mm,
Dude is just phenomenal, and he's a good friend of mine. So it was the first time I ever met him. Right, I'm on this gig, and so I want to say it's an 8 camera shoot, right? Music
wow.
video, blah blah blah, and I run main camera. And the first night, I mean, 4 hours I'm on my feet. It doesn't seem like nothing, but it's a 4 hour shoot is what it's going to turn into. And um, and he doesn't know me from Adam, and I don't know why I'm the main camera operator. I've never ran camera before. I don't
Mm,
believe in my life at this point, right? At this point, and um, he is eating my lunch. Like I am doing everything wrong I could possibly do for this
wow.
guy. He's a professional. He wants what he wants. He doesn't realize that the guy who puts me on the shoot just going cheap, right? He can get me cheap. I barely can run a camera. I understand a camera. I can run a camera, but I'm not a professional. I'm not good at it.
Yep.
And Tom is killing me that night. But what I did was I internalized the things he said. And the next night when we came back to finish the shoot, I had already gained the skills from all the bumps from the previous night and taken in everything he said. And now I was selling him shots. And
Mm,
he was intrigued by the fact that I had gotten better just that fast, right? Because I didn't take nothing he said at heart, and he was actually mean. I mean, I want to tell you, he was mean. He was a director, and he was just saying stuff like just out the. I mean, it was crazy. I'm just like, oh, I'm trying, I'm trying so bad. Please, 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 please be gentle. And but I'm glad for him. Like I tell him all the time, I appreciate what he put me through because it made me better. Like right off the bat, I had no time to get better. Like it made me better right then and there, and it made me understand what to expect out of other professionals. And so that helped. That's part of my training. Like I've been around some of the best in the industry. Guys blessed me to go all across this country, in and out this country, doing this work and meeting some of the greatest people you will ever meet in this industry because I didn't give up, right? Remember, that hole in the beginning, just feeling like I'm not going to make it. And I didn't make a shift. I made a shift enough to say, I can't stay here and wait for some audio job to pop up while we starve to death, right? I have to shift myself and become versatile. And one thing happened, I'll never forget it. I remember watching the news one night. This was well into almost 20 years ago. And I never forget, it was kind of like the financial part of the news at the time. And a gentleman on the broadcast, he said, the people that are going to make it in this economic um, uh, time, and mind you, again, almost 20 years ago. So it lets you know how times always seem like they're bad when you're in it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he said the people that are going to make it in this economic time are the ones who are going to make it are going to have to be are going to have to learn, right?
Mm.
He said they're going to have to learn. And I always took that to heart. I was like, I'm willing to learn. I'm willing to stay up all night. I'm willing to buy the books. I'm willing to go to the seminars. I'm willing to put my money where my mouth is in trying to. I'm willing to stay up all night doing the project. Right. I'm willing to go the extra mile. I'm willing to take less in terms of money when I know I don't have the skills to get up to par to take the job, because I want the skills later to be able to charge the right money for the actual job. The one
Mm.
thing most people don't understand, B, is this. I say Hosea 4 and 6 almost every time
Yes.
I preach, almost every
Yes,
time
you do.
I do anything.
Yes, you do.
And it's because, one, most people don't realize what it says. Two, it's the
Mm-hmm.
only time that it's said, and God said it. And he said, my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. When people wonder why their business don't make it, or why their home's broken up, or why they can't get the raise on the job, or why this, that, and other, a lot of times it's going to be because of their lack of knowledge. I'm not saying all the time,
Mm.
but I'm saying your ignorance. What you don't know will hurt you. It will hurt
Mm-hmm.
you.
Yes.
So not learning the principles of business, not learning the full details of the technicality of what your job function is, or gaining all the appropriate skills and everything you need to go up the echelon if you want to climb the corporate ladder, or if you want to be better in your business, or change careers, or whatever you want to do. Like, I'm not stuck. I can stay as a business owner. I can go and be somebody's manager. I can go be a warehouse worker because I
Mm-hmm.
have those skill sets, right? I can go
Yes.
work on almost, well, I better not say that. I can't say I can work on almost any computer, but computers don't scare me, right? I don't have a computer problem or a technology problem. I can work anywhere I want to, not just because I put my mind to it, but because I've built the skills over the years and hadn't been afraid to take on work just because it's hard, right? Just
Mm.
because it's hard doesn't mean that you shouldn't do it, you
Right.
know. So anyway.
So that that first production that you say you did by yourself, that was kind of scary for you. Sounds like
Oh
you were
yeah, man.
scared.
Oh yeah, bro. I mean,
So
you'd have never known it, but yeah.
so you were scared. Did you ever thought, man, I don't know if I don't know if I can do this, or
Well, it,
should I
it
do?
it's never. I don't know if I can't. It's whether how it's going to work out, right? It's how it's
Yeah,
going to turn out.
fear of failure,
It's
fear
it's
of
it's
failing,
it's
kind of.
almost a fear of failure. Yeah. It's and when I
Yeah,
say almost a fear of failure, it's not so much about the failure, as much as about what that feels like and what that means in terms of how other people perceive it.
yes, sir. Well said. Well said. Well said. So let me ask you about, I guess just video production, because I know you got an arm, leg, and a whole body in it. But like somebody comes to you and they want to make this video, right? Like what is your thought process into? Because I know I've seen some of the videos you make, and you make great videos. But like what is your thought process in creating a good video? It's like I'm pretty sure things just start going off. Like what? Well, maybe I should say what will make a, I don't know. This company comes to you and say, hey, we want to produce this great, I don't know, commercial or something. So what goes into making a good video?
Um, so you got to do a lot of upfront talking. Um, you have to find out what's in the mind of your client, and hopefully they have some examples first and foremost of where they're
Mm,
trying to go. But if they don't, it's okay. You have to try to figure out. Okay, they came to you because they want your creative, right? They want your creative capability.
Right.
Hopefully, they didn't just come to you because you're cheap, and a lot of times they do that, which doesn't help you get better, because you won't have the kind of time or the money to either have the right equipment or buy the software that you need or whatever the case might be. Um, so you gotta hope that the money's right, but you also have gotta put in your time. So you gotta do a lot of talking. You gotta figure out what they want, and then you gotta figure out how to create the emotion in who's looking at the video, because that's what it
Mm-hmm.
boils down to. Is It's what is this video trying to relay? What are you trying to say in it? I don't care if it's just a product video or if it's internal corporate video that got to relay some message. You have to figure out how to get the right information out of people. Now again, I do a lot of corporate videos, so um, there's usually internal. So I've gotten pretty good of understanding what to try to do in that regards. But and then realistically, just get people that's better than you to figure out how to shoot it, because there's a lot of ways to shoot a thing. But man,
Mm-hmm.
some people just got wonderful eyes.
Yes.
And again, remember, I'm the technical person. I do understand kind of what I want, but a lot of it goes down to getting some good people to shoot. For me, that's me. You might have the
Right.
eye, you might have the creative in your head, and can do it all. And that's one fallacy that I hate about the freelance world, because people want a person who can do it all, and they want them to do it for cheap. But if you look at the movies, Hollywood shows you exactly how it should be done. You need um, a DP, right? You need a director and a first AD. You need the editor is so and so, and he has three other editors with him. You have
Mm-hmm.
grips and lighting people, and the reason why I say, because then these people are very good in their position, and they can do a great job. They don't have to do a good job. They'll do a great job, right? Being broken up into these different components. Nothing wrong with knowing how to do it all, but a jack of all trades literally is not a master of any of them, right? So
Mm-hmm.
so I believe in that. But so in creating a video, do a lot of talking, right? Find out what the client wants, and then you have to go into study mode to figure out how you're going to make it be something that can be translated to people emotionally, and get the right message across. Outside of that, you need good equipment. You do. You need good equipment, and you need the right kind of software. I hear so many people doing video, and they talking to me about weird software out there, and just like Wondershare and
Wondershare? What's that?
stuff like that. Like, yeah, yeah, it's a
uh,
it's a it's an editing program, So I think you need to, if you're gonna be a professional and you
professional
do professional
software,
work, you need to dabble with the big
professional
boys. You
equipment.
need to, yep, yep. You need Premiere, you need Final Cut, you need the DaVinci Resolve, you need real video equipment. Now, having said that, you can do a lot with DSLRs and all that type of stuff, but you need, good video equipment. You need to look at what
Mm-hmm.
everybody else is doing. You need to go on YouTube. That's why I said the world now
Yeah.
is much different, because you can go and see what
Mm-hmm.
good video looks like. Right, you're not just creating, because back in the day there was a standard, like you did broadcast standard stuff. Things had to be just broadcast, like the older people want the broadcast way, but these young guys, I mean, they're just doing amazing things
iPhone.
with, I mean, with
Yes.
your iPhone, with your, I mean, with your watch, if it got a camera on there. You're just doing crazy thing. I just actually seen this new, well, that's not new, but I seen this Apple watch commercial, and it is amazing what they did, and what they were translating to, and I understood it as I saw it. Before they even brought the captions up, I knew exactly what they were trying to relay. It was just a beautiful commercial. So anyway,
Yeah.
Apple always,
Yeah.
almost always
Apple.
nails it.
Apple
So
does some
anyway,
good things. That's great, man. That's great. Great, great, great. So if someone wanted to get started in video production, what advice could you give them?
so here's a question. So do you mean like on their own and just like shooting video or like a
Uh,
video business?
I don't know. I guess yeah, on their own maybe. They
Because
right,
the freelance world is easy. Like shooting video and
right.
just you find your niche. You find your niche. Like if you're a wedding person, I mean, back in the day, I mean, had a guy out of Atlanta I knew, and man, he was charging at $25,000 and
Really,
upwards, right? For his wedding videos. I mean, the
25,000.
clients take him on their. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. He was getting
Oh,
paid at the wazoo shooting weddings, right? I mean, just beautiful. I mean, he do like these intros and these pre-wedding videos that were just, I mean, stupid cinematic. I mean, just wildly creative,
wow.
and people paid top dollar for it, right? You know, they did. And I learned a lot from him. And he was doing it with a DSLR. He shot, he edited, did all the stuff. I mean, I think his wife went to help with some assistant stuff, but he really did, um, found his niche. And then again, there's corporate, there's just making commercials in and of themselves. So you have to find something you like, and then take the one piece of equipment you
Mm.
have and learn it inside
Mm-hmm.
out, right? Learn it inside out. Don't blame the equipment for why you can't do something. Learn it inside out and get very good at it. And if you start there, find the niche, and then just keep trying, trial and error of going through clients and going through different products, and you'll find out what it.
All right. Great advice, sir. I like that. I like that. So I know you talked about some of your you talked about one of your failures. Of course, you talked about some challenges. So what was the project maybe that you worked on that maybe you're most proud of, or maybe it was a client that was satisfied? Maybe you got a bunch of those, but maybe give us one that like, man, we really did a great shoot on that one, or that was a good production.
Well, yeah. So I mean, it and before it sounds all like Sadiddy. Uh, no, because it's commonplace. I hate to kind of say it like that, right? It's commonplace. Is where it's at. Like the expectation is that you
Mm,
can pull off good shows. The expectation is
right.
that you do good work, right? So I'm gonna give every Christian the reason why you should do good work.
Mm,
Let your light so shine so that men might see
good
your what?
works.
Good works, and that they
Hmm.
glorify your Father which is in heaven. Like my job, my whole deal is to strive to create good works. Now, having said that, man, there have been some jobs that like there were especially like
Hmm.
we like killed it, right? Because of how big it was. A job we did down in New Orleans, it
Wow.
was 10,000 plus people. Huge, very very huge, big job at the New Orleans Convention Center. Just nailed that, killed it, and very excited because if you go back and watch the highlight video, it's just like it's so huge, like it's ridiculous. Did a great, huge job up in San Jose one year. There's all types. There's actually not one that really stands out more than any other because it's all
Hmm.
just bringing the job together. When it comes to video production, I mean, I'm 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 kind of proud of a video I did for a client that worked and coincided with SMU. They call it ACAP, and one of the years we did a video production that included a lot of the SMU um, faculty, and SMU liked it so much they're like, "Hey, can we use this video?" Right? So that one I was proud of. But again, other people were involved, and lots of stuff went off with that. But you know, but at the end of the day, it really is just it's my job to pull off good production.
Man, it's great. Yeah, and I think like we said earlier, people will look at like like you talk about the big production, like you talked about, man, 10,000. I'm thinking 1,200 people. That's a big production. I mean, in my mind, but you just said you did a 10,000. It's like, wow, that's huge.
Oh no, man. We pulled off 25,000 people at the American Airlines Center and the Dallas Convention Center a few years back. So it was, and we had to use fiber and type two buildings together, and we made the event look
Wow.
the same in both buildings. Um, yeah, so when they looked on stage at the huge LED wall, for the audience, it all looked the same, and it was pretty cool because it was throwing back between two buildings, and I mean, so that one was super cool. I think the first time we did a 80 foot LED wall, the client was super stoked when we
Mm,
did that. Like that was super huge, an 80 foot LED wall. So yeah,
yeah,
that was
it's pretty
crunk.
big. But yeah, and again, I say that because I allude to going back to like your start, going door to door, trying to get clients, trying to, you got to start
Yeah,
somewhere. But as we said, it's the gradual process and just sticking with it, man. That's great, man. It's a great story you got. I love that. Um, all right, so I want to just kind of talk about some leadership, and I saw a note. Uh, Actually, it was on the website. It says that Chris knows that, and I think you talked about this. Chris knows that it's people above all else that makes the difference in being successful. And so, my question for you is, why are you? I know you said you're an introvert, but why are you passionate about helping people?
man, that's a good question. Simple answer is because it's all about people. One thing that I know how I hated being treated um, across a lot of um, um, areas of life, and especially in the event production world, people forget that it's people making things happen. Even people who own the gear, right, that hire you, they forget that without the people to run that gear, you don't have a show. Client
Mm.
acts like they're the pharaohs, and slaves should be making pyramids or something. I mean, I'm serious, bro. I've seen it
Mm.
bad. I've seen church world treat people bad,
Yeah.
forgetting that the technician is just as important and as vital to the service as anybody else, and as much as and as equal to as the person preaching, because all of it plays a part in services, or plays a part in making a production go off. So I always try to remember people. I remember when I remember even in corporate America when I was under people and then became their boss, right? I remember when I was peers with folks and then people didn't want to work for me, right? Because they just couldn't see a younger guy, you know, moving up the ladder that fast, right? I remember how it is when you don't think you got paid enough money, or got paid right, or got mistreated. So I always try to think about people, um, in that regards, because at the end of the day, from a Christian standpoint, from Jesus' standpoint, from God's standpoint, um, Jesus said this. He said, "You could rest all the laws and the prophets on these two things: that you love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, all thy soul, and all thy mind, and you love your neighbor as yourself." Well, who's your neighbor? Everybody,
Mm.
right?
Everybody.
Everybody. And because I think about people in that regards, I've had the opportunity to meet some of everybody, right? So I talked about Anthony Robbins, and since most people don't know who he is, he's a motivational speaker. He's a long time, been in the industry a long time, and I
Oh
got
yeah.
I got an opportunity, a few months ago to run sound for him,
Mm.
right? Run sound for him at a convention
Yeah.
center. So, it wasn't a dream or nothing, but think about, I've been listening to this man, years and years of years ago, and um, you know, and then get an opportunity to be in one of his sessions and not have to pay for it. That's first and foremost. Not have to pay for it, but can actually
That's
work with. Now I don't want to add
bonus.
like, yeah, that's
Yeah.
bonus, right? So but if you're just mean and ornery, or just think it's all about your one race or your creed, and or it's all about just you or something like that, man, people don't want to work with you. And I've just had the I've just again had the opportunity to be around some of the greatest people ever. um Life has afforded me that opportunity, because I think about how I want to treat people, right? Or building great teams, or knowing the people who will come work for me because of how I treated them, right? And so, and you can't get that, you know, you can't even say just because of godly living. It's because I listen to my past. I listen to how to be to people, uh, giving up, not caring what the color of their skin is, not caring what gender they are, just understanding that everybody really wants to be treated the same, no matter how it goes. They don't care. I never forget. Um, one of my clients, um, their business is over $1 billion, right? And I never forget when, he's a co-owner of the business, and he pulled me to the side and he asked me about the future, um, in his industry, right?
Hmm.
I mean, my company
Mm.
ain't worth $1 billion. Your company worth a
Mhm.
billion dollars. How do you get to a
Mm.
point where somebody will listen to you like that, right?
Wow.
So you got to listen to people. You got to try to understand. I mean, again, understanding my business, understanding the industry that I'm working with and what I'm working in. Mind you, I understand his industry, right?
Yeah.
Um, but but just to have built that rapport, where he asked me my opinion, right? He in
Mm.
the middle of a event and pulled me off to the side. He's like, "Hey, let's go talk behind here. I want to hear what you got to say." So, if you just consider people, right? Consider people, and just keep your knowledge up, you know, you'll always be able to be in a room with good people, or you'll always be able to go somewhere.
Mm.
I've had people fly me all these different places just because of how well you treat people, right? Just
Mm.
presidents of this, and so and so of that, or bishop of this, and blah 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 that, you know, because of how you treat people. And if you learn how to treat people well, because remember what I said about give, right? It
Yep.
ain't always money that you're gonna get back, right?
That's right.
So so
Could be.
so give your ear, not just your words, right? You listen,
Mm-hmm.
right? People want to talk as much as they don't mind listening to you talk, but give a little bit of your time. I never forget, I was doing an event, for 8 days. So with this one particular client, 8 days long. Ugh. And
Wow.
and the owner of the company, I never forget, she came to me. I was down dealing with some issue down, in the exhibit hall, and she came to me and she started telling me about her problems. This woman's multi-millionaire woman running this company, da 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 da. And all I was thinking was, I got a lot to do, lady. That's what I was thinking. I was like, man, I got a lot to do. I'm like, why is she? And I knew why she came to me. Well, I found out why, because, the guy I was working for, I was there producing, and the guy I was working for told her I was a Christian.
Mm.
And I guess she felt like, well, we're gonna be Catholic today, and she just came and just started talking about, some things she was going through. And I say that, I mean, y- that's God, right? It ain't
Yeah.
me. I didn't do nothing. I don't even remember if I gave her any advice or anything. I think she just needed somebody to talk to in the moment. But who wants to talk to some mean and ornery person, right?
Yeah.
Who wants to
That's right.
who wants to be around, or who wants you working for them, when you're not good, right? You're not good at what you do. You're not good with people. You're not good with him. It's all about people, right?
Yeah.
It's all about people. And if you learn how to handle people right, then, I mean, really, the sky's the limit for you. To be honest with
Mm. Man, some good nuggets. That's so true. The whole world is full of people, and whole world full of people. It does matter how we treat them. I think it goes back just like you said. Let your light shine. You know. let it shine, and let it shine. Who knows? Who knows who you'll affect or touch? Just by you treating them right. That's another job you could get. Another client. So that's some great leadership advice. Just making sure you treat the people that under you, and regardless of what their title is, or like you said, their gender, their male, their female, it doesn't matter.
It
Just treat
doesn't
them.
matter.
It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. That's some good advice, sir. I appreciate that. We appreciate that. Appreciate you sharing that. All right. You like surprises, Chris?
I do like surprises, sir.
All right. Well, that's good. I got some surprise questions for you. Um, they're very easy, but they are surprises because you don't know what they are. All right. First question for you. Uh, when it comes to chicken wings, which is better, flaps or drumettes?
Uh, I mean, definitely drummets. Um, I hate chicken wings, but anyway.
Okay. Hey, chicken wings. All right. Drumettes are better. He says. Okay. All right. Um. Next question. Which is better on an ice cream cone, vanilla or chocolate ice cream?
So, um, the best ice cream out there is Brahms banana pecan.
Hmm.
So neither vanilla or chocolate. But if
Oh.
you can't
Okay.
get that, then you gotta get Brahms cookies and cream, 2 scoops on a waffle cone. That's the best you can have. And yes, Brahms,
Okay.
you're gonna pay me for that plug.
I can concur about the Brahms cookies and cream. I haven't had the banana pecan. I haven't
And
had that
man,
one,
it's
but
such a rare, like when I have to hunt it down, like anywhere I can find it, I try to get it. So it's great.
all right, all right. Good answer. Good answer. Uh, Next question: who do you think was put in a more uncomfortable situation? Joseph being sold into slavery or Egypt, or Daniel and the Hebrew boys going under Babylon bondage? Not maybe the longevity of when they were there, but just the outcome of the situation. Who do you think was in a more uncomfortable situation?
Um, it's an interesting question. I wish I've ever had thought about it before in my life. But I'm gonna say Daniel and the
Yeah, I don't, there's no way you can, there's no wrong answer to that. But
yeah,
I
yeah, it
just want
is.
to hear your
Yeah, it is.
thoughts.
Yeah, it is. It's wrong. It can be wrong. And here's the reason why. Here's the reason why. And well, I mean, yeah, obviously you're kind of right because somebody else could find another reason that's just as valid.
Hmm.
But the one thing about Daniel is Daniel never gets to leave out of captivity.
Mm.
He's always up under the thumb of some foreign king. He's always a captive. His
Yeah.
whole tenure of of the book of Daniel. Um, when he goes into the lion's den, he's actually an old man. Most people don't realize that. So he is the one who's always having, which again shows you being the most uncomfortable because in his old age where he's been praying 3 times a day and been doing this his whole
Hmm.
life in this captivity, finally somebody else comes up and then wants to disrupt how his life is. Wherein on the flip side of it, um, Joseph is eventually at age 32 going to be in a position, though in a foreign
Yes.
land, he's going to be in a different position than Daniel is, right? Daniel goes into captivity as a teenage royal,
Hmm.
Jewish royal person, and has to stay there his whole life. Um, Joseph is in bondage and issues and problems for about 15 years, and then life is kind of different. Having said that, Daniel hasn't been accused of rape and not vindicated at all. He didn't go to jail. He wasn't sold out by relatives, right?
Right.
So, but because of the longevity, I would say Daniel and the three Hebrew boys.
All right. Great answer. I love that answer. All right. Yeah, just to get your thoughts on that. All right.
We can go deeper on it if we need
All All right, last surprise question. Team iPhone, Team Samsung.
Well, I have to say Team iPhone because I have one.
Uh
But
huh.
man, if you had caught me like 9 months ago,
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
had never had an iPhone. I was all Samsung for
I know
20
you were.
almost 20
Yeah.
years. Right.
Yeah.
I really hated to do it, but man, there are just some things when you got so many people on the iPhone, it's just some things that are so much better when you're
How was that?
compatible.
How was that switch? That transition
Oh, it was
from
rough.
the
It's
phone?
still rough. I still struggle with it.
Yeah.
Because I think an Android keyboard is better.
Mm-hmm.
But that's of course because I've been using it so long, right? So it's just
Right.
some certain things I think are better, and there probably are. But all in all, I mean, I'm happy with my iPhone. So
Okay. It's all good. All well. You know, it could either be one or the other. So
I
that's why
mean,
I asked that question.
you can have a Windows phone. I mean, I think there's somebody out there still. Yeah,
Yeah, maybe somebody still got a BlackBerry out there too.
I know a pastor's wife who has a BlackBerry. So
Really,
yeah.
I used to love the BlackBerry. That was greatness. All right, all right. That was the end of our surprise question. Thank you for answering those surprise questions, sir. We appreciate that. All right. So as we wrap this up, words of wisdom. What important lesson, uh, or what is an important lesson you've learned on your journey that you can share with the audience, or an important advice that has helped you to continue your success?
Um, don't be afraid to try.
Mm,
If you try and fail, keep trying. Make sure that you study to show yourself approved in all things in the Word of God and in your your business, your across all the skill sets that you need to be successful in life. Talk to a lot of people.
mm,
Talking to a lot of people and people that know more than you is going to make you better. You're either going to rise up or you're just going to run away from it. Um, and um, at the end of the day, just be grateful for wherever you're at in the moment. You know, don't kick the moment because you're not where you want to be because that moment's going to go away anyway. So
yeah.
be grateful for where you're at in the moment, and don't just try to excel and succeed because that's what you hear people doing, right? Like that's the whole thing on either you're watching social media for dumb, stupid stuff and looking at who's eating what, or you're always
Mm,
having to be motivated to do the thing you should be doing anyway.
yeah.
Learn, here's a one liner: learn life's principles. You
Mm,
learn the life's principles, which most people don't know. That's why they're not successful in like almost nothing. Learn life's principles and life will start to be easy for you. And so if you just learn how to learn to improve upon yourself every day, learn life's principles, learn um, to listen and gain more knowledge. Because I will end with that. We'll end with kind of like how I like to start. My people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. And it says it's really because you reject knowledge. And most people every day, they rather be on YouTube, they rather be on Facebook, they rather be watching something silly on Twitter or Instagram than to take the time to be in their secret time to learn how to get better.
mm,
You know, to spend time studying so that when it's time to perform, they can do it with the best or to the best of their ability. So just
mm.
learn.
Learn and learn. I think that's what you heard, right? Learn and learn. Man, that was well said. Great advice, ladies and gentlemen. The great Chris Black. Man, I appreciate you being here. Last thing, how can people connect with you? Where can they find you? And you can talk about your business website, or where
Right.
can people connect with
So
you?
if you're looking for audio video lighting products for your church, or for your business or something like that, and you can go over to shepherdmedia.com. Shepherd, SHEPHERDMEDIA.com. Shepherdmedia.com. I mean, we are more than happy to help you get into the right equipment. And then, of course, I'm just Chris Black on Facebook. If you want to connect and talk, not doing any mentoring programs per se, but um, it's good to talk. I don't have all the answers, but I know who does, right? And I know where to go to find them. And I know when some things are very specific. I just have a great group of brothers. B Hill being one of them. Uh, Great group of brothers and sisters who I'm able to bounce stuff off of and learn and glean from. Because that's the only reason why I'm at where I'm at, is really because of the people that I know, trust, and love that I'm around.
Yes, sir. Well said. Again, ladies and gentlemen, the great Chris Black. Man, we appreciate you stopping by and dropping all those great nuggets for us, and just to share with the audience. And I do appreciate your time and your sacrifice, sir, and your friendship, most of all. You know, definitely appreciate the friendship and just knowing you.
B Hill is at the top of the list of top notch people. If y'all didn't recognize that, him and his wife are just the best. Their kids are the best. I love them. So I appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Feelings mutual, sir. We love you too. I appreciate your time. And thank you. Hey, we got to have you back too. We can definitely have to have you back. We can talk about some other stuff, some other life stuff, because although you're a business owner, the world is made of people, so there's plenty of stuff to talk about in regards to people, life lessons.
100%. 100%. I mean, we definitely need to talk about the marketing. So get me back on whenever the business people are ready to talk about how can you full-fledged market, because right now is the time. And if you learn to market now, I promise you, I promise you, I promise you, I promise you, the harvest is going to come for you if you learn to market. So,
okay, yeah, definitely. Okay, we're gonna note that, and we'll get you back on. We can talk about some marketing, definitely. So, all right, we appreciate your time, my brother. We'll have you back.